All right. Good evening, YouTube. Matt M. Roy back once again. Still fighting with this lighting situation here, but I think we're doing okay. Uh, well, how many times have I told you guys and gals out there about my favorite cleaner, Goo Gone? Well, I got to tell you, this saved my butt earlier. I was working on a computer and I needed to get some really old thermal compound off. I mean, stuff that was caked on there must have been for years. It was the driest, nastiest thermal compound I ever tried to remove. And this is the only thing that did it, folks. Sprayed it on there, let it sit for a minute, then went back and wiped it off with a paper towel, came right off. And they are not paying me to say this. This is not a product placement. I am that much of a Goo Gone fanboy. Or a fan man, I guess we should say. This I got at Marshall's for $3, by the way. Great deal until I went to Lowe's the other day and I saw for about $1 more a bottle that was twice the size. So definitely check out what? Definitely check out Lowe's if you need Goo Gone. Well, Eric, I don't know what's going on with your post, buddy. That looks like Hebrew. Man, I don't know what's going on with that post. That's bizarre. Better check your Google Translate or something there. Hope everybody's doing great tonight. I am watching We Hustle Daily, who just bought it's Hebrew. I figured it looked Middle Eastern. I just didn't know exactly what. I'm watching We Hustle. I gotta say, We Hustle Daily, guy that buys and sells cars like auto auction rebuilds. I deliberately stopped halfway because I wanted to do this live stream, and I'm going to watch it once I finish. He just bought a Lexus with over 300,000 miles, and I'm really interested to see if it was a good buy or not. Lexus being made by Toyota, they are known for reliability. However, 300,000 miles would scare me. I don't care what car it is. And since I'm probably not going to be typing, I might as well move the Yeti mic right in front of me, though. Going to try to reroute the cord there. Am I coming through a lot clearer now? Testing. 1, 2, 3. That was hello in Hebrew. Awesome. Yeah, I did see that one, the million-mile car. That was a Lexus, an older Lexus. They are definitely known for their reliability. Okay, so I feel like I got to come clean with you guys about something. I haven't been as upfront about this lately. It's something that I've been struggling with for a very, very long time. Something that has taken up a great deal of time in my life. Over the past few years, and something that I hope will continue to take up a good portion of my life, though maybe not as much as it has been over the past 3 years. So what I need to come clean with you guys about is when it comes to my diet and my lifestyle change, I'm killing it. I've done it. I mean, I can't believe it, folks. I don't know what the scale is saying. Last time I was on the scale, it said 213 pounds. But you want to know something? I am wearing a medium shirt right now. If you guys don't believe me, I'm going to try to get it in the picture here. Can you see that big M up there? That's right. I am wearing a medium shirt. I cannot believe that it has gotten to this point, and it is plenty long. Like if I pan down, you can see that the shirt itself goes pretty much down to my, let's just say, crotchal region. I know, right? A little bit of surprise there. I bet you guys didn't think I was going to go there. I will tell you, and Mr. Jimmy just said it right there. I actually have been doing some bodybuilding. I actually suffer from low upper body musculature. In other words, my upper body muscles by design are very weak. So I had to be careful, but I have been doing a lot of upper body training. And if I wasn't wearing a long sleeve shirt, you could definitely tell a difference. Well, thank you, Reviews for Noobs. I sure appreciate it. But That's not the reason. I'm not on here to boast and brag and say, oh, yeah, look at me. I lost half my body weight, even though I actually have. I want to do this because I want to motivate a lot of you out there. I know that I've been a motivator for quite a few people to lose pounds, and that's great. I mean, that's absolutely great. I'm glad that's happened, but I want to reach even more people out there. You know, when I first started this in September 2017, so it's been 2 years and we'll say 2.5 years, maybe about a month shy of that. And I have lost more than half my body weight. And I've done it by a total change in the way I think about food, the way I look at food, and more importantly, the types of food that I actually eat and put in my body. You know, the Bible says our body is a holy temple and we need to treat it as such. And I will tell you folks, for many years, I wasn't treating my body like a holy temple. I was treating my body more like a strip joint. And I'm just going to be perfectly honest here. I mean, that was the best analogy that I could think of. I mean, I used to think nothing about shoveling down, well, I guess not a good thing. I never liked Twinkies, but, you know, shoveling down junk food like it was going out of style. And the worst thing is I would binge eat at night, like right before bed. We're talking maybe right before bed, like half an hour before bed, I would go down. I would literally stand in front of the refrigerator with the door open. Don't tell anybody that I actually used to do that. But I used to just stand there and look at things. I would pull out what we had for dinner and I would just sit there, open up the Pyrex container, and I would just shovel it into my mouth. I mean, heck, I got to a point where I was so bad, I wouldn't even try to heat it up. I would just eat it out of the fridge. And you're right, Chris. Gluttony is a sin, and I am guilty of that. I am guilty as charged. Thankfully, Jesus died on the cross for my sins. I don't have to pay the price for that. I need to admit that I'm a sinner, and that was one of my sins. So the moral of this particular story is you may feel at times that it's out of your control, that you're a food addict, you're a carb addict, you're this, you're that. You know, maybe you've tried diets and they didn't work in the past. Well, I can tell you, I've tried every diet under the sun. The only thing that worked for me is when I gave up the idea of a diet and said, look, I am doing a lifestyle change. I am fundamentally changing the way I think about food and, more importantly, the way I eat food. Nick Roberts, at night, I am so hungry. I can help you with this. And this is something that I struggled with too, because our bodies naturally want to eat food at night. It's like, it goes back to that time in our lives, you know, 1,000 years ago when we didn't have food all the time. We want to store that food. And for some reason, okay, at night it's worse because we're not busy. We work in the mornings. We work generally 9 to 5 jobs. Then we're off at night. We're sitting in front of the TV. You know, we're bored. Maybe you got a little bit of insomnia going on, and you don't know what to do with your time. Well, a lot of times you'll go down to the fridge and you'll just take out maybe some, I don't know. I used to take lunch meat, cold cuts, wrap it up around cheese and eat that. Get the popcorn. I used to make whole buckets of air pop popcorn and eat those. What you need to do is, and it's going to be hard, it's going to take about maybe 2 months to do this. But you need to go ahead and just say to yourself, okay, I am not going to eat. And the easiest way to do it is to stay out of the rooms that have food. Like me, I stayed in my room at night for that first month or two before I retrained my body. And that's what you're doing. You're retraining your body and, more importantly, your mind into not needing food in the evening. And that's basically what I did. I got to the point where I'm not even hungry at night. Like, I usually stop eating anywhere between 2 and 4 in the afternoon, just depending on if I'm fasting that day. And after 4, I'm not even hungry anymore. Eric's Right channel is like, I'm not like addicted to food, but I don't make good choices when it comes to food. That one is a little bit harder. and especially this time of year. This time of year when the weather's cold in most places where you guys and gals are living, your body craves the higher fat, higher carb foods. And the plain simple fact and the reason it does that is your body burns off more calories when it's cold. So your body's saying to your brain, saying, okay, we need to ingest more of the high fat, high carb foods so we can keep our strength up. That one's tricky. I'm going to be honest with you. Even this time of year, I still have to go for those high fat, high carb foods because my body needs that. However, you can mitigate the damage. You can actually increase your exercises during this time of year. It's a little bit harder, but if you try that, then you hopefully will work off the extra calories and fat that you're ingesting. But that's just a way our bodies are, unfortunately. Mark, hey, Matt, how do you do this evening? What are we talking about? Well, we're talking about the lifestyle change. Pain Anonymous Bachman. Yeah, that's definitely better than 000302356. That makes it a little hard. Oh my gosh. Sonic Wang says, ad before this video is about a weight loss diet. Well, I guess YouTube's algorithm figured out what we're talking about. Yeah, a lot of you guys like the camera angle from the other PC, but tonight I'm using my Dell XPS 8700, so we're just going to have to deal with it this way. I don't know. Maybe this is a little bit better. Maybe it's better with, I think it's actually better without the light. I'm going to do it without the light, honestly. It looks like it's keeping up to 60 frames per second, too. Okay, so I want to talk a little bit about bodybuilding, strength training, and not always looking at the scale. Now, this is an important one. I've gotten to this habit where I like to weigh myself at night and then in the morning just to see how much weight I lost over the night, because you will weigh on average about 3 pounds more at night than you do in the morning. And that's just because your body hasn't worked off all the food you ate, which it will do if you did enough exercising during the day to keep your metabolism up. You'll actually burn off that food as you sleep. That's the beauty of our bodies is we can burn calories even when we're asleep. Our body, when they talk about it being like in ketosis, where it's in that fat burning mode, you can actually burn off a lot of your calories overnight. So I was getting really discouraged because the scale wasn't really going down. And I'm like, wait a minute, what is going on? I know I'm doing the right things. I'm eating the right food. Why in the world is the scale not going down? Well, here's the problem. You can eat all the right things and do all the right things, but if you are doing strength training, like I have been working out with weights, you're generally going to see the scale go up, and that's just because muscle is heavier than fat. And you're building muscle, so you're replacing that fat with muscle. So let's say on average, for every pound of fat you're losing, you're gaining 2 pounds of muscle. Well, you just do the math there, and bam, the weight is going to go up. So don't necessarily be fixated on what the scale says. You need to make sure that you're eating and doing the right things. And more importantly than that, look at your waistline. If your waistline is going down, but the scale is going up, then chances are you're doing something right. Yeah, everything's okay, Victor. I don't live stream every day. I know a lot of you guys have gotten into the habit of me doing that recently, but it's not necessarily an everyday thing. I do it as much as I physically can. Honestly, wasn't going to do one tonight until I said to myself, you know what? It's Monday night. I bet you everybody's burnt out from work. First day back to work. Let's have some fun, do a live stream, maybe help people feel better. Yeah. We'll see if this works out. Now, one thing I will tell you, you need to make sure, and this is something a lot of people have problems with. I don't know why. I never did. You need to eat breakfast. You have to eat it, because that is where you're going to get, number one, the majority of your strength for the day. And number two, it's going to actually prevent you from eating more later on, which is the bad stuff. You can eat everything right But if you're eating like right before bed, late at night, I don't care what you eat, it's going to take a long time to burn all that off, because once again, even though you do burn calories while you're sleeping, you're burning significantly less calories when you sleep versus what you would burn during the day. Wastely WBT, that's the best I can do. Just wanted to say you're awesome. Came across your channel a while back. It's been cool watching you hit all these gains, and you're a real inspiration. Keep producing and keep working out. I intend to. I am not going to stop this at all. Bearing some catastrophic disaster, it's going to stay with me. PCB says eat one meal a day. It depends on your metabolism. For me, that won't work, because now that I'm in ketosis and I'm burning so much, if I eat one meal a day, by the evening, I would faint dead away because my blood sugar would be down to nothing. Now, if you are the type of person that's not very physically active, and you eat a lot, then yes, you probably could get away with eating once a day, although it's still not very healthy. I still recommend getting your 3 square meals a day, making good food choices, and just not eating after 3 or 4 at night. That kills the diet. It really does. I'm saying, and I'm going to call this a diet, because for me, it's a lifestyle change, and I hope for most of you it is too. But those of you out there that can't maybe commit to the full lifestyle change, commit to everything that I've done, what that entails, then yeah, you could just start by cutting out eating at night. That's a great one. And I'm not going to dismiss intermittent fasting, because intermittent fasting is a godsend. I'm telling you, it works so well. And what that basically is letting your body work through the food that you've eaten the day before. And I'll usually fast for around 18 hours. So see, I stopped eating today around 1. So let's see, it's 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. And I'll eat around 7 a.m. tomorrow. That's 18 hours. It works. It really does. Sorry to get off topic. I have a question for you. Is Wix free? Yes, it is. But you do get more, supposedly, if you pay for it. Like you don't have as long of a URL. You get like a dedicated domain there. I'll be honest with you, I have not updated that in a long time. I'm really needing to think about doing that in the near future. And I'm sorry if I'm stumbling here. It is kind of late for me, so we'll see how long I can do this for. Nick Roberts, when I was 13 to 17, I had abs. Not anymore, sadly. I can't think that I've ever had. I know I've never had like visible abs. I'm getting to that point now, and I'm glad you mentioned that, because above all, after strength training, you need to strengthen your core. And very recently, I have started doing sit-ups. I'm up to about 35 to 40 at once. Now, I do them 3 times during the day, so I get 100 sit-ups. I can do 100 sit-ups, just not all at once. And I've been doing that now for about 2 weeks, and I've noticed that my midsection is starting to firm up, especially the area that they call the muffin top, where you basically have a lot of fat, or in my case now, loose skin above the groin. That has started to firm up. So not even necessarily the ab region, even the pad below that has actually firmed up quite a bit. Oh, Eric goes, I started making a Wix site about 4 years ago. I said get back to it. It is still unfinished. Priorities, I'm telling you, if you have another priority, then you need to deal with that. But it still is nice to have a website. I have to admit that. Payme Anonymous Bachman. Yeah, I used Welby, which I love, but I also used Wix for clients who wanted a website. Yeah, I'm glad I don't do web design. I've had people ask me about it, and I can do it. I have the knowledge to do it, but there are other people out there that went to school for it and are a lot more more well versed, I should say, than I am. That was a double negative. Yeah, that was terrible. But anyway, when it comes to my IT work, I stick to mainly hardware rebuilds and some basic software. I don't really dig too deep into that anymore. And the reason being, it's just not my passion. My passion is shifted now more from IT and technology to fitness, health, and fitness. I've even considered maybe getting a part-time job at one of the gyms. To be honest with you, I really would like to look into that. Nick Roberts, I think it's because my mom made a home gym. I love mum, by the way. Mum, kind of like the way the British say it, in the garage. I found working out fun. Now I'm just too lazy, but now I just bike ride every day. Bike riding is a great exercise, and it gives you a decent amount of muscle build, but it's mainly the legs. So you really need to add something like free weights. Free weights are fine. That's what I do. I have 15-pound free weights that I use 5 to 10 times a day. I try to do maybe, I don't know, 20 reps each time. But it's definitely helped me firm up my arm muscles, especially the hanging. I'm not going to say fat; it's skin under my arms. Now that I think about it, Eric Brunhammer, I can finish and use it as a supplement to the Facebook page for the channel. That's great. I mean, my website honestly has not drawn a lot of people to my to my YouTube page. Actually, if I had to say, Facebook has done more for that. That's why I love having a good Facebook page. Charlie Pinsky's too lazy to do exercise. Well, I got a little story for you, and this might change your mind about that. My uncle, for years, never exercised. He was a smoker. I'm not going to tell you who he was, but now he's later on in life, he's actually given up smoking and has started to do a little bit of exercise. And his lung capacity is better than it has been in years. And he actually feels better than he has in a long time. So take from that what you will, but exercise is very important. Yes, we're Reviews for Noobs is plugging my Matt Emroy fans page. Yes, if you get a chance, you can take a look at that. Maybe I can even just share the link here. Wow, Facebook is being super, super slow. No, not Marketplace. You guys don't want to see that. What is going on here? There we go. Awesome. There you go. That should be my Matt Emroy fans page. Facebook. And one thing drives me nuts. Facebook Marketplace, what do they call it? Administrator or assistant. It's like an automatic bot that asks you, hey, you have this thing listed on Facebook. Has it sold? I tell them no. They, okay, good. Do you have this listed on Facebook? Is it still for sale? I'm like, no. Okay, fine. It's like your mom over your shoulder all the time. It drives me crazy. Ray Sanchez, hey Matt, thank you for the motivation. I'm actually watching you at the gym. Planet Fitness works well for my needs. Oh man, I love hearing that. I love hearing when people are working out at the gym. I used to belong to Planet. Wait a minute. Planet Fit. What is it called? Yeah, it is Planet Fitness. It just shows you how much I actually go to the gym, which is hardly ever. I prefer exercising, doing outdoor exercises or doing it at home. But I'll tell you, there is something to be said for that gym atmosphere. It can motivate a lot of people. It's just me with my anxiety issues. I really don't enjoy going to the gym, although I really need to try it again now that I have a body that I am more confident showing off in public. I don't think I'd feel so self-conscious. That was the problem that I used to have for years. I would be very self-conscious about going to the gym because, you don't necessarily take your shirt off, but even if you don't have it off, people can still see that you're way out of shape, or at least that you look out of shape. Mark coming in. Hey Matt, it is necessary. Is it necessary to install another Windows 10 Pro along with Windows 10 Pro key? Now you should just have one Windows 10 installation. If you have the key, you just install Windows, entering that key, and that should activate Windows. You shouldn't have to have two different installs. Ray Sanchez, that's how I used to feel going to the gym, but Jay reminded me I am here to change my body image and health. Yeah, isn't that the worst thing ever? Gyms are designed by nature to cater to the buff and the people that are already physically fit. Basically the people who least really need to be there, whereas the people like I used to be that are way overweight, obese, morbidly obese, feel too self-conscious to go to the gym. It's almost like what do they call it? The self-defeating prophecy, where the people that need it the most aren't getting it just for the plain simple fact they don't feel comfortable going there. I mean, and I was the same way. And yes, before anybody asks, I was in the morbid obese category. That's a body mass index of over 40%. I think at my highest, mine was like 44, maybe 45%. And now my BMI is around 27%, which is awesome. That is still technically overweight. Honestly, I am still technically overweight, though just by a hair. So that being said, if I can do it, anybody can do it. Reviews for noobs. When I was a kid, city rubbish collection time, when we would check out stuff you could get, you could not put in the rubbish bin, and would see a lot of gym equipment. Most looked like new and hardly used. Boy, isn't that a shame? And I'm not surprised. I used to do some trash picking myself, not so much anymore. But yeah, I used to see a lot of weight benches out there. I used to see a lot of, now this was before like the fitness bands, but a lot of exercise balls. We're talking exercise bikes, treadmills, and you're right. You're absolutely right. They look like they hardly were ever used. William McCullough says, good evening, Matt. Good evening to you too, William. I haven't been seeing you quite a bit at these live streams. I really appreciate that. I don't know how much longer I'll be able to go. I had to take some Benadryl again tonight, and I am extremely tired all of a sudden. Eric goes, I saw a free Bowflex on Facebook Marketplace, but I have no space for it. That would have been nice. If you could get one of those for free, bearing in mind that when they were new, they were about $1,500. Yeah, I definitely would. Although I am not a huge fan of that type of resistance training, which they actually use like resistance rods, I think they call it. I actually think Bowflex patented that design. I don't know if it's still under patent or not, but I usually prefer your typical free weights or your typical weight bench like you find at a gym. The resistance bands like that just had an odd feel to me. Supposedly, the ones that were like 70, 80 pounds to me felt a lot lighter than that. They felt like they were really only maybe giving me 30 or 40 pounds of resistance. So I try to stay away from that kind of stuff. Dang weird that people would throw that kind of stuff out. Usually gym equipment is not cheap. You have a good point there. And I think a lot of it happens like after estate cleanouts, like the owners passed away and maybe their family came down and they sold everything at like a garage sale, but maybe they didn't sell the gym equipment or they didn't have a chance to get it out there. And now the house is up for sale. Maybe it's going into their closing and they don't know what to do with it. I think a lot of it is that type of stuff, because I agree with you. Gym equipment is not cheap. And depending on the area you live in, it can be a quick sell, but at least around here, I don't think it is. I've seen a lot of that stuff listed online, and Yeah, it just kind of stays online for a while. All right, everybody, I'm ending it here. I am really tired. I feel like I need to get in bed and get a really good night's sleep, although I did get a really good night's sleep last night too. So I don't know what's going on. It could be the change in the weather. You know, we've went from very, very warm weather recently to very, very cold weather, and that can actually change your sleep patterns too. All right, everybody who came, thank you so much. I am going to double check real quick just to make sure we did not get any super chats and that I forgot to acknowledge. So, no, nothing this time, but that's cool. Please continue to like and subscribe. And as always, have a blessed day, everybody.